Do you like?
It is on this day today that the Disneyland Beaten Friends ask you, which one do you like?
Okay, everyone out there. Hey, guys, we need you to help us out here in the comments here. Put your fingers on those keys and let us know with this one. You just have to pick one. So which one do you like better? Which character at Disneyland is funnier? Gaston or the Mad Hatter? Gaston or the Mad Hatter? Let us know in the comments, please. Don, what about you? What do you think?
They're both hilarious in their own way. I think that Gaston wins the prize for me just because he can do things that most characters can't in the park. His ego, his bravado, just everything he can do out there and just play with guests, play with other characters. It's fantastic. And it just cracks me up that there's a Disney walk-around character doing some of the things he does. People follow him around just to see what he does because he's that hilarious and that entertaining.
Damien, who's your favorite?
I have to agree. It's got to be Gaston. You know, like you said, it depends which cast members playing him that day. The ego, everything, they can just have you just rolling. You know, he's like a ladies' man, pretty much. You know, so. But Mad Hatter, I remember one time I went to Disneyland. I just saw Mad Hatter and Alice just running across the path in Fantasyland, just out of the blue. I'm like, and thinking, Mad Hatter came up to me one time, just talking. I don't know what he was saying, but he was trying to pull me somewhere. I'm like, they both in their own way are perfect. You know what I mean? Just both. But I will say, for the argument's sake, Gaston wins.
Gotcha.
He's like better.
Just to be someone on the other side, I really like the Mad Hatter because he's just so crazy. And like, while I have to say Alice in Wonderland was, a little bit spooky for me in its absurdity as a child. Like, oh my gosh, I love everything about it in Disneyland. I absolutely adore the attraction. I adore the characters. And the Mad Hatter, he's sassy. I've heard him some of the reactions that he's given to guests before have just been hilarious. Just super, super sassy stuff. Like, why'd you ask a question like that kind of stuff? Like stuff that like Gaston in character isn't really allowed to point out. So I think that's kind of funny. Natalie Briani says Mad Hatter, and Jeff says Mad Hatter. Thanks for chiming in there, guys. A couple of Mad Hatters there. Love it. Okay, the next one is, which ride would you like to get stuck on the most? Which ride would you rather get stuck on? The Incredicoaster or It's a Small World? Ooh. Damien, I'll come to you first.
Okay, this actually happened to me before. I got stuck on a Incredicoaster, and that wasn't too bad. You know, I got stuck like right after the loop. I think it was like the brake run right before you go into the helix.
Right.
Good. Yeah, like good 10, 15 minutes. But they released the brake and we went around the helix. It was fun, but I think I'd go crazy if I got stuck in It's a Small World after like good 15, 20 minutes. So definitely Incredicoaster for me.
Don, what about you?
So you have the Incredicoaster where you're out in the heat, and if you're there 10, 15 minutes, you're roasting. Mm-hmm. But in It's a Small World, that song's going over and over and over, and you start to hear the little clicking of all the dolls, and so that's why I always have a backpack, and I bring a little mini extendable fishing pole, and if we get stuck, I throw a line down in the trough and see what I can catch. I usually catch a hat, sunglasses, something.
Oblivious Dad says Incredicoaster, as long as I'm not upside down on the loop. Usually when the Incredicoaster gets stuck, I mean, like, you got to be okay with heights too. I mean, it's usually that brake run's pretty high up there, at least a couple of stories up there, so you're coming down that metal staircase pretty far. But then again, on It's a Small World, you know, if they might just turn down the music for a little while, I think I'd pick that one. But otherwise, I'd go with Incredicoaster as well. Yeah, Oblivious Dad, as long as I'm not upside down on the loop. The Incredicoaster. That's good. Okay.
That'd be hard to do.
Next one. Which one do you like? On the Millennium Falcon, do you want to be the pilot, the gunner, or the engineer? Let us know in the comments, Mouseketeers. Pilot, gunner, or engineer? What about you, Damien? What do you like to do?
Pilot all day long, baby. I pilot all day long. It's happened to me when I last went. Since I was a single rider, I had the Millennium Falcon all to myself, and I was able to pilot that bad boy. So pilot, you can control up and down, a little bit more responsibility, a little bit more pressure, but it's fun. You could crash it if you want to. You have Chewie go crazy, go ballistic on you. You know,
were you like reaching over to turn left and right? Like,
yeah. But the gunner's okay too. The gunner's okay too. You know, give you something to do. And I would say the engineer is probably the most boring of them all. You just sit back and just hit like 2 buttons the whole time. You know,
Right.
if you don't like anything, engineer's the one for you. But if you like to be interactive, I would say pilot all day long for me.
Right. What about you, Don?
Yeah, I gotta agree. I mean, that's why wouldn't you want to be the pilot, and especially the pilot on the right side where you get to do the hyperdrive. I mean, when that thing lights up, you can push that thing forward, and that's the best thing. That's what I've dreamed about since I was 10 years old and saw the first Star Wars.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
True. 6 people in that cockpit, but only one person's taking us into light speed.
Yeah,
that's right.
I will say, as a parent, I so loved being the gunner because I could sit back there and like shoot everything, but watch my kid pilot as we crashed into everything. But you know. Okay, our last one here. Which one do you like? And let us know in the comments on these, guys. Which one do you like? Oh, Oblivious Dad, pilot because Han Solo.
Yeah.
Which one do you like? Do you like Dole Whip or a Mickey beignet? Which is your favorite? Don, that's a tough choice, isn't it?
So you say Dole Whip, and then you said Mickey beignet. Now, if you said beignet plural, beignets.
Let's say you had a whole bag. Let's say you had a whole bag.
Okay, hands down, Mickey beignets. You go over there to that window in New Orleans Square, and you pick up your beignets, a coffee, and you sit down at one of the tables. You got the jazz music playing. You hear the train pulling up into the station, the whistle, the steam, and there's nothing better. That soft, warm, delicious Mickey beignet. Come on, what else are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Damien?
It's Dole Whip, baby, all day for me. Gotta have a Dole Whip. I mean, it could be cold or it could be hot for me. It's just nothing about like a Dole Whip or even a Dole Whip float.
You want a hot Dole Whip?
No, I'm on a hot date. That's what we know. No, but I'm not taking anything away from the beignets. They're delicious too. They're a little bit too sweet for me. But I could put an argument. You know, I like the Jazz Kitchen beignets too. You know.
Oh yeah, those are good. Go to that side window and pick them up. Heck yeah.
So
Don,
yeah, if I had a choice, it would definitely be a Dole Whip. So
I'll go to the Jazz Alley. I'll get a dozen of those beignets. I'll eat them on the way to Disneyland into New Orleans Square. And when they're done, when that bag's just getting empty, my order of Mickey beignets is showing up.
there you go.
Yeah.
But what's the secret to keeping the powdered sugar off of you?
Oh, it's all over my face.
Yes.
It's everywhere. It's on the table. It's on the kids at the next table. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
That was fun. Let's see. Natalie says definitely Dole Whip. And Oblivious Dad says Dole Whip. We got some Dole Whip fans out there.
There you go.
It is good stuff. All right, we're going to have a new segment here, but let's speculate about Disneyland a little bit. And Mouseketeers, if you guys have any questions for us or if you want to chime in on the conversation, just put something there in the comments and we will talk about it. But we got a new segment, the Disney Magic Speculation.
There is every indication that we have a fascination with the Disneyland magic speculation.
So just speculating here a little bit on what might be. The theaters at Disneyland have been closed for a while now. We know that the cast of Mickey and the Magical Map and Frozen Ever After have been laid off. But it's also worth noting in the most recent report that came out a couple days ago, Frozen sales are down a little bit for the company compared to some of the other properties like Mickey Mouse and Minnie, which are up. But what comes next to these theaters? And if you could have anything, what could it be? And I just want to point that out with a couple caveats. So what comes to the Hyperion Theater? So we know that the Hyperion Theater built just around 2000. It was a really well-planned theater. It has a high degree of capability. It's still highly functional today in 2021. And then the Fantasyland Theater, which is a very nice theater, outdoor theater, but it was also built on a much tighter budget, much faster schedule. and has a little bit more limitations. So I just kind of wanted to toss that out there. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? And what shows would you like to see come to either one of these theater Masketeers? Let us know in the comments. Damien, you have any thoughts on that?
Yes, I do. I would say for the Hyperion Theater, since it's going to be technically located in Avengers Campus, I would suggest it would probably have a Marvel themed show in that theater, like they do over, I think, at Paris, Disneyland Paris.
Like the Stunt Spectacular?
Yeah. Yes, definitely a Marvel themed show would be great in that theater right there. You know, right at the gateway, right at the entrance, right in front of Avengers Campus, technically. As far as the over in Fantasyland, it would be up in the air. They can put anything over there. You know, they could possibly pull a scaled down version of Frozen if they wanted to. They could go to Mickey route, another Mickey Mouse show or something like that. Or hey, they could go back and have a throwback to the '80s and bring back Videopolis. So
yeah, there you go. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Videopolis. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. What do you think, Don?
Yeah, that theater over there, it's right on the edge of Hollywood and the Avengers campus. What do you do with that? I think they come up with an amazing Thor and Hulk traveling comedy show. And it's a variety show. They have special guests every week. Different Avengers or other Marvel characters can make an appearance, do a little skit. That last Thor movie, Ragnarok, was all comedy, and they could play off of that and have a lot of fun. Thor could throw the hammer out. It could all be 3D, so it looks like the hammer's coming at you. I don't know.
That's fun.
That's why they don't have me creating shows, TC, because I'm not good at it.
No, I mean, yeah.
And then over in Fantasyland, I like that Videopolis idea there, Damien. But I think that would be perfect for a Moana stage show.
There you go.
Add some water around the stage, give it that kind of feel, some fountains in there a little bit, and just put on this tremendous show over there. I think it'd be just fantastic.
I think those are both great ideas. Yeah. Oblivious Dad says, saw Aladdin at the Hyperion. That was a good one. Would love to see a Lion King similar to Broadway at Hyperion. Perhaps, yeah, another Lion King. I would like to see something Broadway-esque, Broadway quality personally in there. I really liked being able to see a high quality show, every time I visited. And, it's such a huge theater. It needs to be popular though. Whatever they put in there needs to be popular, so that they can fill all those seats, and it serves a pretty important role, I think, over there at DCA, having that theater open. So I wouldn't mind seeing a Marvel stunt show or a comedy show, or even like a serious Marvel musical, honestly. And then, I think over at the Fantasyland Theater, one of the things I liked about Mickey and the Magical Map, and it's just another brand of the musical review where you're kind of splashing together a whole bunch of, little splash moments. I like the idea of a Moana show where we're a little bit more focused, on one IP for a little bit longer of a time. And it's not just, hey, here's this IP, now this IP, now this IP. So I think that would be kind of cool to see that over at the Fantasyland Theater. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Something else I wanted to speculate about is Avengers Campus opens up in just a few weeks, and there are 4 major attractions, we should say. And what do you guys think is going to be the big hit? Which is the one that you're looking forward to? We've got the Web Slingers attraction, and we can talk about anything Avengers Campus y'all want to. We've got the Ancient Sanctum, which is supposed to be a Doctor Strange show. We haven't seen it yet, but it's supposed to be loosely based on a show they did at the Marvel Day at Sea on one of the Disney cruise lines. And then there's the Pym Test Kitchen, as well as a shawarma cart and the Terran Treats cart. And then we've got the Avengers headquarters and the meet and greets. What do you think is going to be the thing that people love, or the thing that people don't like, or they're going to love it all? Don?
I think Disney and especially the Imagineers are on a roll, and I think everyone's going to love everything they're putting together. They are throwing all the quality in there and all the great ideas. I just saw some photos this morning on the food. That's some of the examples of food coming out of the Pim's test kitchen. Hilarious. Huge meatballs and a mini meatball and a chicken sandwich. The chicken's this big, but the bun's this big. It's just going to be awesome. I can't wait to go in there and try everything.
Yeah, I think the food is going to be one of the big hits of the show. I got a comment here. Hey, Manny Marquez Jr. asks, just got here. Is Disneyland going to lift the mask restrictions? I don't believe so. I think California is sticking put with what they've got until June 15th. I think Disneyland is going to have to go with what the state goes. And Manny also says, I can't wait to eat the food. So yeah, I really think those are going to be fun looking. The Pim Test Kitchen is going to be a blast.
Yeah, and I will say, I think the Web Slinger attraction is going to be phenomenal. I think it's going to be a step up on technology from. We had Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters, and then we went to Toy Story Midway Mania, and this is going to be one step further where you're not even using anything. You're just swinging webs with your hands. It's going to be amazing. And then if that animatronic, that flying Spider-Man animatronic shows up, holy cats. Are you kidding me? I want to be eating a whole bag of beignets watching Spider-Man fly by. I
know,
mean,
yeah.
Come on.
Oblivious Dad says, I think Web Slingers will be the hot attraction at Avengers Campus. Oh, I agree with that, for sure. It really will be. Damien, what about you? What's the one you're looking forward to the most?
I would say Web Slingers as well. And that show Don just mentioned, if they get that show going, that's going to be awesome with the animatronic up there. Pim's going to be number 2, the Pim Test Kitchen. I think the Doctor Strange show might do okay, but you're forgetting, you still have Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout over there. So you never know. That might be still a popular attraction too.
That'll definitely continue to be popular, I think, for a long time.
Especially if they decide to get another, version of it, or especially when Halloween comes around, when they have Monsters After Dark, So, but
I did hear a rumor that they're thinking about some adjustments to that attraction.
I've heard that rumor as well. I've heard some outlandish rumors, and I've heard some more. That sounds possible. Rumors.
How do you hear that last part?
Oh, some rumors that there might be some changes coming to Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. Some tweaks.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Manny Marquez says, it's always great to see you, TC. Yeah, but it's awesome to see Don and Damien.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to say, the thing I think I'm looking forward to the most at Avengers Campus, and I think the thing that's going to kind of just make it fun and buzzing, is the Avengers headquarters, the meet and greets, and the characters. If they do that right, and I think that that's the real shame about the June 4th opening, is, if they're not able to have all those face characters out there, and Avengers headquarters isn't able to do whatever it's going to do with all of the meet and greet areas that it's going to have, then it's going to, we'll really love Pim Test Kitchen that much more and Web Slingers that much more. But I just think that in the long run, with the animatronic Spidey and the potential for all of those shows up there, that's what I think is going to make me want to walk through there more times than not. And I'm really curious about the Ancient Sanctum show. I went and I watched that STEM show that they did in the on the Disney Cruise Lines, and it was for younger kids. It was cool. But it was also I love educational. I love STEM. I think it should be that. But I do think that I don't know. I hope that this show is just a little bit more magical. Maybe the effects are a little bit more, bigger budget or something like that.
Yeah, it definitely will be. I think they have a permanent location, bigger footprint than what they'd have on a cruise ship, and they're just going to do it up. And really, Doctor Strange, for whatever reason, never really clicked with me. I like the movies, but it's not something that I go crazy for like some of the others. And so I'm curious to see if I'll like this show or if it'll be a kind of a one and done thing.
Right.
We'll see.
Manny Marquez has a question that I think Damien could address. Talk about the entrance gate as you enter Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think he's talking about where you enter Avengers Campus right at the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's a nice transition from, Hollywood Boulevard into Avengers Campus. It's like seamless. The ground change. You see the little, I don't know what they have. It's like some kind of space dust or something on the ground in front of Guardians of the Galaxy. So but once
They've
they
got that
open
like
open
glass in
it
there
up,
now.
once you see the headquarters, it's gonna look amazing. I was just standing right there the other day. I was like, man, this is gonna be the hot spot once it opens. And just imagine if they do open the next phase for the next e-ticket attraction too, it's gonna be even more, much more better than
Yeah,
that.
that
too.
attraction looks crazy. Yeah, the concept art for the Quinjet ride looks crazy.
Yeah.
Like you go up
Yeah.
in the Quinjet ride, you slide off the back of the Quinjet on your individual seats that then fly around. Whew. Yeah, it looks like it has lights or something. Yeah, I saw they've embedded all that neat little glass and stuff in the concrete in front of Mission Breakout. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. The other thing we want to speculate about here tonight is Muppets Haunted Mansion. So there was a teaser trailer that came out, and it's just a Halloween special on Disney Plus. That's all it is. But it's going to be a Muppets Haunted Mansion special featuring Uncle Deadly. And I had a follower ask me a question I thought it would be fun for us to talk about. What would be next? What's the next Muppets Disneyland collaboration that would work well, for like a Disney Plus special where they could maybe even come into the parks and film some stuff, or build their own sets, of course, and film their film. Don, do you have any ideas on that?
Gosh, it's so difficult. The Muppets obviously have been around a long time. I watched them when I was a kid on the Muppet Show. They tried to bring the Muppet Show back a few years ago. Didn't quite resonate fully. And the Muppet Vision 3D, not very many crowds in those any longer. And I think they use it for other things as well. So I love that they're being creative and trying to come up with strong ideas that may work with this IP, because I think there's a lot of value there. There's a lot of story there. There's plenty of characters. How do they utilize them and create something fun and entertaining that the consumer will resonate with? When everything's been Star Wars and Marvel, I think it's great to have something like that that's a little bit classic, can resonate with kids too as well as adults. If they can do it right. This Halloween special may be the kickoff to a lot of fun things to come. And maybe they're incorporated in somehow someday. Did I just say that? Can you imagine if you're walking through the Haunted Mansion during Halloween and one of the bus that follows you, but it's Gonzo or somebody just following you? That'd be weird.
Oh my, I don't know. We've got some good ideas here in the comments. Manny says Muppets Pirates of the Caribbean. I think that's a fun special right there for sure.
Yeah.
I think that's a fun.
Well, they already made a Muppets Pirates movie, right? So Treasure, whatever.
That's right.
So,
they made a Treasure Island. That's right.
They put Johnny Depp in there. Why not put Kermit?
Right. Oblivious Dad says Muppets take over Pixar Pier. There you go. Muppets on Jesse's Carousel and Toy Story Midway Mania. Yeah, that would look good. And then Muppets Rise of the Resistance. My idea there was more of a Tomorrowland Pigs in Space.
Oh,
that'd be a good one.
Pigs in Space.
That'd be awesome.
I like Jeff's idea here a lot. Muppet Island, a Survivor type special taking place on Tom Sawyer's Island.
That's a good one.
There you go. Lots of good ideas.
Muppet Jungle Cruise. Yeah, I could see that. Because you could just have Muppet Disney Sea in general. That would be a fun crossover. Society of Adventures and Explorers. Yeah.
I want a restaurant where the Swedish chef is cooking.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be fun.
I want to see him toss my salad.
Exactly.
Oops.
But I'm really looking forward to that. I'm a Muppet fan. I usually keep up with most of the stuff that they're doing. And personally, I just loved I know it's not Disney's property. Jim Henson Company is 3 different companies these days, right? You've got Sesame Workshop, you've got Disney owns the Muppets, and I think they own the Big Bear in the House. And then you've got Jim Henson Company, which is still sort of doing its thing, owns a lot of the characters from Labyrinth and Dark Crystal. But I don't know if you guys watched that Dark Crystal miniseries on Netflix, but it was excellent. It really, really was up to the quality of the original, in my opinion.
Oh,
Yeah, very good.
have not.
I highly recommend checking it out. Okay, we got some more speculation. So there was some art recently. I think Disney's just trying to keep reminding us that they put out the Disneyland Forward package, and they dropped essentially concept art from Jack Lindsay's, which is a Indiana Jones themed bar in Disney Springs, as part of what could be there for the Downtown Disney part of Disneyland Forward. So I wanted to talk about. There's some good. Yeah, we'll back up to those. So I want to talk about what would you guys like to see at Downtown Disney and what at the new expansion. And my question for everybody is, and Mouseketeers and both of you is, what kind of activities do you want to have at Downtown Disney? So we know in the past there's been sports games type places, the ESPN zone, places where you could watch games, play games. There's been movie theaters, and there's now a bowling alley and stuff like that. What's the type of activities that you think would do well both for people just visiting on their vacation or locals at Downtown Disney? Damien?
I would say probably resurrect the Disney Quest. They had back at over in Florida at Disney World.
I know what you're talking about.
Park right there. That might be a good thing they could put over there for people just visiting. Just come to Downtown Disney, get a little taste of Disney, and just upgrade it. So probably have like an upgraded Indiana Jones attraction or something like that. I think the old one had like a motion version of Space Mountain or something. They could probably do something like that. Bring back some kind of indoor, not like Dave and Buster's in a way, but more interactive type, like Disney Quest was back in the day, like an indoor theme park or something like that, possibly.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I went to that a couple of times back in the day, and yeah, I would think that they would be able to really upgrade that, offer a different type of experience now. It's a good idea. What about you, Don? What would you like to see?
Yeah, that's tough. I spend a lot of time in the parks, and at night when I leave the parks, I'm usually going to Trader Sam's or the Fire Pit Bar out at Napa Rose or something. I kind of bypass Downtown Disney unless I'm going to a restaurant. How many restaurants can you do there? I don't know, but the more themed restaurant, I love the idea of that Indiana Jones-esque kind of themed restaurant along the lines of what was the one, what's the tropical themed one that was there?
I can't remember that one.
It had interactive things and
Rainforest Cafe.
Yeah, Rainforest.
Oh, yeah. Don't bring that back, but do something cool. I mean, Disney have a dinosaur one over in Disney World, or they did, just neat interactive things that kind of takes the magic a little further, but in a different way. You're not putting attractions in Downtown Disney, but you're kind of putting themed dining or other. What I did like was that VR thing they had there for a while. I forget what that was called, but you go in there and you're kind of a stormtrooper in VR and you're fighting other people in there, and that was a blast. That was so realistic. Really cool stuff like that would be neat to experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that place was called The Void.
The Void, yes, thank you.
We got some good comments here. Manny Marquez says paintball. Oblivious Dad says, I miss the ESPN zone. No, I bet you've got some people sympathizing with you there too. Some other people who do too. Hey, Lost Boys and Girls are here. Hey, how you doing there, Jake? Hi there, Disneyland Beater. Sorry we're late. Check out the Lost Boys and Girls. They did our animated intro. Jake's an incredibly talented artist and animator, and they've got a great channel. And I know they're just getting going with their season, so I know they've got some upcoming Disneyland visits. So click on them. Angela says a free walkthrough attraction. I think so too. I wouldn't mind seeing. I was thinking that. I wonder if like something like Blue Sky, the Blue Sky Cellar, or something like that, where we have some concept art. Maybe there's a place for that in downtown Disney too as well. Just an idea.
There's that reminds me of a good idea. Up here in Seattle, there is a archives exhibit coming. Opening soon downtown Seattle, that's going to be all of the villains' costumes, I believe. And you do something like that, a rotating thing in downtown Disney where it's something like someone said, a walkthrough. Mm-hmm. You can have those archives exhibits. Why not do an archive exhibit just rotating throughout the year or every 6 months at downtown Disney? Something new for people that travel back and forth.
A space that's there just for exhibits to come in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. Angela says, nothing interactive, just something we can walk through leisurely and enjoy. Yeah, I agree. For me, like on a long visit, there's usually at least like an evening or two that gets dedicated towards downtown Disney. Like if I arrive halfway through the day, I hit downtown Disney that night, and I'd like to have something to do. Manny Marquez says a roller coaster, like a POV indoor 3D adventure. There's some really cool stuff coming to the Imagineering. It's just for the kids. I think you actually can only go to it if you're under 12. But on the Disney Wish, there's that new exhibit that's an Imagineering where they have a build your own roller coaster and then you get to sit there and ride it.
Oh, yeah.
And they have some other stuff like that too. Some little stuff like that would be really cool. Some of the like compact stuff that they fit onto the cruise lines might be really cool in there. Oblivious Dad says, I'd like a build your own Disney character costume dress up. Gotcha. Sort of like Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, but because you can't dress up all the way in the parks too, right? I don't guess you can. I don't know. I suppose you can't out in downtown Disney either. I don't know. Can you dress in a costume in downtown Disney? And I know you can as an adult in the parks, but I don't know what the rules are in downtown Disney.
Unless it's like they doing like Dapper Day or something like that. You can do the dress up.
I don't think they would allow that just because the security gates have been moved outside of downtown Disney. So anybody coming in security gates wouldn't be allowed, I would think.
Yeah.
Oblivious, Manny Marquez says the original idea for the Tiki Room was a restaurant. Maybe have a restaurant with a show. That would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool if they actually fleshed that idea out and had the longer cycles and did reservations and stuff like that. That would be very cool. Who was that? Don hosted a Pacific Northwest Mouse Meat talk with Marcy Carricker Smothers. Isn't that correct name? Yeah, and she had just written a book on all of the food at Disneyland, and she had a lot of cool stuff to talk about with the Tiki Room, and that center fountain still has like cabinets that can open up because it was supposed to be the waiter station and things like that. Really cool. And of course, this is why they have the restrooms, and it's fun history, fun. Natalie says we really miss the arcade at the ESPN zone. Yeah, absolutely. There is no it's so hard to keep up with an arcade. They are not even able to keep the Starcade going. And I remember the first time, one of the first times when I heard the Starcade was closed, I was very disappointed. But that would be cool.
You know what they should have is a restaurant in downtown Disney that has all-you-can-eat beignets.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, like what about a Tron-themed restaurant that's like loaded with video games?
Oh, they did that a few years ago.
Did they?
They had Electronica.
Oh, in DCA. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Retro game. That would be awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I've got one more speculation topic here for us. And Mouseketeers, toss us any questions at any time. But if you guys could change the path of the monorail, what would you have it do? Would you have it just be in the park? Is it just a park attraction? Or is it would you have it come out to the parking lots and pick people up at the parking lots? Maybe get over to Mickey and Friends? Or is it a hotel transportation from hotel to the park? Or is it just fine? Is it just fine as it is, downtown Disney? Because it's kind of where it is because of where the Disneyland Hotel used to be. Mm-hmm. And was added to attach the Disneyland Hotel. If you could do anything in the world you wanted to do with the monorail, what would you do? I'm sorry, I'll pick someone. Damien.
I always just say leave it as it is. Probably just modify it just a little bit because it's classic. I love how you leave the park and go out towards Harbor Boulevard. You see the real world for a second, then come back in. But yeah, Disneyland is not that big. People have to remember that it's not like Disney World where the monorail is used as a transportation system because you need it out there because everything is so far apart. Compared to here, you can just walk across the street. You don't need a monorail to just be extended. I mean, go up the Harbor Boulevard or anything like that. So I also just say just modify it throughout the park or keep it as is. But if you want to just add something else to it, I would just say probably have to go through maybe a different land maybe. But I would just say Tomorrowland was perfect. But yeah, I would just leave it as is, keep it the same route, probably just modify it just a little bit. That's about it.
What about you, Don?
I got ideas.
Oh, go for it.
So thinking about the plans that Disney has for the long term for Disneyland, they always have been talking about redoing Tomorrowland, right? But there's this submarine voyage intertwined with the monorail, intertwined with track from a past attraction that's no longer there. Perfect time, and people are going to probably roast me for this, but get rid of the monorail inside the park. They're going to open up more park. They even may do a third gate, or they're going to do shopping over in the old Strawberry Fields parking lot, the Toy Story Friends, whatever it's called now, parking lot. Run the monorail from Disneyland front gate entrance right through the Esplanade there, over to that other shopping or park district, over to the Disneyland Hotel, build another hotel, have the monorail go there, have it go by Universal Studios, so you can see what you're not missing, or go by Knott's Berry Farm and just so you can wave and say, "Ha, we're on the monorail. You guys are on the." And don't get me wrong, I love Knott's Berry Farm, but you're on the mine train. We're on the monorail. But seriously, I mean, they're going to redo Tomorrowland at some point, and they're going to take all that stuff out of there. It might be 20 years from now, but that submarine thing's going to go, and they're going to have to restructure. They can't really do much until they remove a lot of that structure. It's all intertwined, and so I think that would be what I would do.
Yeah, especially if you want a Tron coaster, that's going to have to go. Definitely. Definitely, that's going to have to go. I just thought about it.
So just like Disney World, make a transportation between the parks. It's not going to be as much distance, but
Yep, I can see that. Let's see, checking on the comments. Let's see. There needs to be a stop in DCA for the monorail. Certainly DCA gets a little bit shorted. You just kind of get a quick glimpse of Buena Vista Street, and then the rest of the time you're in the hotels. Manny Marquez says, yes, have it serve the 2 parking structures. Lost Boys and Girls, we like the monorail how it is already, but we're open for change. Jeff, 2 tracks. One would be transportation from the hotels and parking lots. The other is in park. I can see, I go back and forth on that too, because really, I want the monorail to get me somewhere. I want it to be transportation. And it makes me think too, if they really do open this other downtown Disney area and it's got a couple of hotels down the road, wouldn't it be cool if a monorail could actually stretch, the couple of blocks down there to the Toy Story parking lot area? And it's not that far, It's not like Disney World where the capacity is going to be hindered by the amount of distance that it has to travel. You know what I mean? They can put a bunch of cars on the line and do a bunch of time. On the other hand, my favorite part of the monorail ride is once we dip into Tomorrowland, of course. And that is a very cool little section there with those other tracks and stuff like that. But, Don, you're absolutely right. The day will come. That's going to have to go. Oblivious Daz says, I'm fine the way it is. Maybe add a route from Disneyland Hotel to the park. And Manny Marquez Jr. says, yes, Don, have a separate track to serve the 2 new Disney entities. I think that does make sense. And then go ahead and, swing it back over by the Disneyland Hotel, which it was originally intended to do, and so on. So that makes total sense to me. So, yeah, and even if there are 2 tracks, I could see that as well. I agree with Don. Get it put out of the park and have it be something that you're riding in between things, outside the park. That makes sense. I will say the monorail is that first thing I see when you're walking up, to security. It kind of always welcomes you into the park, and I really, really love that. So I think we're getting towards the end of our day here. You guys got any questions for us out there, Mouseketeers? Let us know. Before we wrap up, I was going to ask if Don had any preliminary thoughts on what on Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet might be this year, and if there was anything he wanted to share about that, or anything at all that Don wanted to share.
Preliminary thoughts, huh?
Well, we're getting pretty close, really, actually.
So for those that don't know, thanks for asking, TC. We're still trying to formulate things, but for people that don't know, we canceled this year's event. It was going to happen July 10th this summer, and it's just too soon. Things are still happening with this pandemic, and it's just not going to be cleared up in time. So we canceled it, rescheduled for July 30th, 2022. So that's going to be 2 years that we're going to miss producing the Mouse Meet and having all of our guests attend. So it's going to be bigger than ever. But for this year, we want to keep the date of July 10th and do something online and virtual. So we've been working in the background here, TC and I, to create something virtual. Invite a couple of guest speakers from Disney. We'll chat with them in a kind of a similar format to this, maybe, and even take question and answer from the audience. And I don't know who those guest speakers are going to be yet, but we'll probably do a couple of them. And we always have TC, as you know, or anyone that's attended the event. We always get some of the best guest speakers out there, animators, Imagineers, movie producers, a lot of that stuff. So we'll see what we can put together. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. The best of the best that Disney has to offer, for sure, are attending the Pacific Northwest Mouse Meet, because it's such a cool event, and because it's such a great fan gathering, and because they enjoy it. And I think there's a word of mouth amongst the Disney folks that if Don gives them a call, that it's something that they should seriously consider. So it's pretty cool.
We're very fortunate that there is word of mouth within the company. And even D23 comes to my event, and they've sponsored us in the past. So we're very, very fortunate.
Before we get to you, Damien, and I'll give you a chance to talk about your con, we got a question here from the Lost Boys and Girls, and we touched on it a little bit. Not sure if you guys tackled this subject already, but what are your thoughts on the menu for Avengers Campus? I think we all decided we were pretty darn excited for the PIM Test Kitchen, and it was one of the things that we're looking forward to most in the land. Is the feeling I got from everybody on this panel. Is that so?
Yes, sir.
Don?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit earlier. I mean, I saw pictures this morning, and there was this pasta with a giant meatball and then a little tiny meatball. Hilarious, but I'm sure it's delicious. And then the thing I can't get out of my mind, I'm going to dream about it, is that fried chicken sandwich where the fried chicken patty's like this big, and then the bun's this little tiny, so the chicken patty's sticking way outside the bun. I mean, it looks like a fried schnitzel. If you know what that is, on top of a little mini bun. It's going to be awesome. They're going to be so creative, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I cannot wait.
I really hope that there's like tubes flying overhead with the food, and conveyor belts, and like you're seeing something big go into a machine and come out small, like that huge gigantic panini. Like, I know you're just going to get a slice of it, right? But I want to see the giant panini press,
Yeah. Maybe your table will open up and the food comes out or something, like a Pier. So it'd be cool.
That would be so cool. Oh, man. That would be so cool. So, yeah, we're really excited about that. And I'm personally excited about the shawarma cart. I like shawarma. The Terran treats, I don't know. I'm not a big, huge sweets person sometimes.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I like them, don't get me wrong. But
how are we friends?
Maybe it's too much frosting. It's too much frosting. You know what I mean? That Terran treat, I'm curious to get it. But, you cut it in half and it's just full of like mousse or frosting or stuff like that.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Okay, I'm not a fan of that either.
Like They're neon purple and like neon green. They're really cool looking, but yeah.
Is it a cake or?
Yeah, it's kind of like a cupcake, like a round bun, but inside it's completely full of frosting, sugar, purple sugar.
When did they start doing that? I went to a cupcake place, and yeah, there's they like dig out the cake and put frosting inside as well as on top. Way too much frosting for me. I much prefer a higher cake ratio to frosting.
Lost Boys and Girls, what are you looking forward to on that menu? We're curious. But yeah, I don't know. There's some cool looking drinks as well that Pim Test Kitchen has. I think they're going to use some of the technology that they're using on like that bubbling drinks that they have down at the Lamplighters right now, Lamplight Lounge. That Buzz Lightyear drink seems really cool. But okay, well, any other thoughts on the food?
Yum.
I'm just excited.
It looks really
try it out
good.
myself.
Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Damien, I wanted to give you a chance. Let us know what did you just put out a video today, right?
Yes, sir. I'm starting this new series about focusing more on Disney tips. Today, I did one on like how to access and navigate around a mobile order on the Disneyland app, how to successfully do that, because some people have issues with that, So then I'm gonna play around with some more things on the app, and also some more interesting tips that people brought up on my channel they want to learn about and things like that. So I'm starting like a tip series. And of course, on Wednesdays at 6:30, it's a chat. Have my own chat session going on. Talk everything Disney on Wednesday nights at 6:30 Pacific. So then I'll be back in the parks next month. So I'll be exploring Avengers Campus.
That's awesome.
You must be rich to be able to go to the park twice in 2 months.
It's just being smart, man. Just being smart.
That's all.
Just spreading out his Disney love. It is. Well, that's great. I saw your mobile order video. It was really good. It was well done.
Thanks.
Great job. Manny Marquez, been a viewer of mine for a long time, so he's taken off. He wants me to mention his face on his page on Facebook. Absolutely, I'm happy to do that. Manuel Marquez Jr., folks. You can see his name there in the chat. Lost Boys and Girls says, all of that stuff sounds delicious. The not-so-little chicken sandwich looks so good, though. Yeah, that one's going to be popular. Lost Boys and Girls say, thank you so much for another great live stream, you guys. Thanks so much. Jeff, thank you. That was fun. I look forward to the next one. We do, too. Absolutely. I've got a video. Amy and I have a video coming out on Walt Disney and alcohol at Disneyland and our favorite cocktails at Disneyland, Downtown Disney, and DCA coming out on Wednesday as well. Oh, Manny's Disney Secret Spots. That's the name of his Facebook page. Manuel Marquez Jr. Check that out, everyone. Well, I just want to say a big, huge thank you. Love to see you all as members. We'll check it out. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. And I want to thank Don and Damien so much for being here. They're just doing this out of the kindness of their hearts, and I truly, truly appreciate it. I'm ever so grateful.
He's forcing us, and we need help.
Seriously. Oh, goodness.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting us. That's really, really kind of you.
It's been so much fun, TC. I appreciate you doing this too for us, man. It's just been an honor.
Thank you. Man. The honor is mine. And the honor is mine, Mouseketeers. And we'll see you real soon, Mouseketeers. Take it easy.